that is the NetSuite landing page if you're not familiar with it. So a couple of things to keep in mind. So I'm going to walk through the whole process and really go through the demonstration of the field service module. As the name implies, the field service module is used for companies to streamline any type of field service activities that they may have. And in there, we're including installations, repair orders, preventative maintenance, PM, which is definitely a growing area where we continually go out to service and we can schedule those. And even recently at Plative, we've been doing a lot of depot setup. And when I walk you through the mobile, there is a great application that if you bring pumps or anything back to your facility, that you can also drive the repair process and use the workflows. And that'll become kind of evident when I go through there. Just to reemphasize, the unique thing about NetSuite Field Service Management is that it is built on the NetSuite platform, and it's native to NetSuite, which, you know, Jeff mentioned all the interconnectivity. We're using the same records, things from employee records, so you can connect to payroll, anything that's input on field service. We're also using the same process for accounts payable, accounts receivable, purchasing. All those things are included. We're also using some of the higher functioning elements, or they're available to us in NetSuite, something called a save search, which allows you to create reports on the fly. We also have more complex analytical tools. All those things are available to the process. And once you implement NetSuite, you've already implemented best practices on the inventory and on the accounting side, obviously, that you don't want those things jeopardized. One of the things that also is unique to NetSuite, NetSuite updates its software twice annually, and NetSuite Field Service is part of that. So any new functionality that comes in is automatically deployed to the process and available to anybody who owns the bundle. So like I said, there's a familiar NetSuite dashboard up front, and that's where everything starts. We definitely, NetSuite uses an approach called Suite Success, which instead of configuring a system from scratch, it already preloads the items, and that's including all functional areas, order to cash, procure to pay. And it's exactly the same in field service. So what does that mean? You got a bunch of standard roles which control access to different records within the system. You got reporting and all those things. In this particular case, I'm in the administrator role, but very quickly I can open up, for instance, the field service manager role. Let's give it a second to start up here. And let me try a different role. That's a little bit more relevant here. The field service administrator role, which will give you an indication of some key things. Because the data in the system is interrelated, we can have key performance indicators. Over here, since it's the field service administrator role, you can see that we have several things pertaining to field service, which you can have access, and we don't have time right now, but you can definitely drill down and get the details that come up with these numbers right down to the task or case record. We also have things like active projects. Probably the most important thing on a NetSuite role is reminders. Instead of looking for instance, what to bill a customer, you can definitely go to the reminders tab, and it will tell you, hey, you have these things to do. You have these invoices to send out. So it's a very neat kind of thing, and we have several roles already loaded into the system that you can access out of the box, and then you can of course customize those roles. So with the demonstration, we're going to go through a couple of things. So we're going to follow the following process. So we get a call from a customer. We're going to create a case, which is the element in the system that starts the dispatch process and takes the details of the customer issue. And then we're going to create tasks to complete that case. We're going to schedule, we're going to do a repair task. So we're going to schedule a repair task, and then we're going to complete the repair in the mobile, and then close the loop with the invoicing. And then if we have a little bit of time, I can also take you through some other records or anything you may want to specifically look at. So the company we're dealing with is an HVAC service provider with a North American presence. Technicians spread all over Canada and the United States. They sell product, or they sell units, and they service the same units that they sell. And they have similar challenges. that Jeff mentioned earlier, you know, seasonality, emergency response. They have specialized equipment. They go into, you know, that they may need to calibrate or and then there's the safety aspect. You know, there may be chemicals you got to clean up. You may be working in dangerous sites, so you got to identify that. Make sure you have the proper PPE, all those things available to you. And of course, we have warranty and repairs, preventive maintenance and installations, which is very, very typical in this industry, and probably the reason everybody's listening to this call. So we will follow our hero Aaron through the steps that would take to service one of our units using the mobile application. We will start with an incoming call, like I mentioned. So a customer calls. They identify themselves as having an issue. There are a couple of ways that a customer may relay this information to you. They may give you the customer number or the customer name, or they may give you even the serial number for the unit they're talking about. Maybe they went out there, found the unit wasn't working, took the serial number, ran back to their desk, give you a quick call. And with NetSuite, we have this search bar. We could definitely type in the serial number here. We could type in the customer, and then it would come up with a bunch of choices. I have the customer record here already open. As you can see on the customer record, a couple of things to point out. They have the standard information associated with the customer, you know, location, contact information. We have the tabs that relate to sales driven things like pricing, etc., all in the same record. So the same customer record that field service is attached to is the same one that other people would see within the system doing other tasks. Of course, their field service may not pop up in their instance because the way their role is configured, but all that information is on the same record. The key thing in field service, it deals with assets. And assets in NetSuite Field Service are two-tier. There's a parent level record and a child level record. The parent level record typically is the location, so the site, and then the child level records, and that's that first one here. And then the child level record are the units. As you can see, we have a heat pump air conditioner here, and we got a serial number associated with that. All that is available. So, you know, we have the infinite detail for that item. What you would do in that particular case, you identify the unit that needs to be repaired. You would then open up the unit. So we can just click on this and open it in a new tab. So we're going to deal with serial number 318. Here, or we can do this one too. Okay, just opening up here. So here's our asset record. Our asset record is different than an inventory record because it doesn't add to the value of your assets right now. It's a deployed record that's been deployed unit that's been deployed in the field. You have the serial number, so it's a very specific record. You know what the unit is. You can open that up. As you can see, we got a quick pop down as well. And the item record is a key element as well. This may be a warranty item. This would all be described on the item record. You know, inventory and everything is set up here as well. And then we go back to our field service asset. Within the field service asset, we can look at several different things. There's a couple of projects here, and let me explain what the relationship of projects are. There's a hierarchy in NetSuite. It starts with the customer, and then a customer may have several projects, and those projects in a field service standpoint could be things like warranty and repair project where you're trying to capture costs of your warranty. So even though you may not bill for it, you still want to capture the costs, labor costs, equipment costs to do that so you can do analysis later on. It can be an install project where maybe you're doing a multi-month install, you're buying product, you're deploying labor, and you want to track those costs and look at the profitability. And of course, we have projects that we can charge repair records, time and material. We can have a project that we charge time and material for. All those things are available. As you can see, there's two here. Once you get to, and you would get through this a lot faster than I'm going through today, that's for sure. One of the easiest things to do is to create your case from your asset record. And over here, we have something called a service order case. And we can name that anything you want, completely customizable. If you don't call it a service order, we can change it to work order, anything that you like that makes sense within your organization. And that's what we consider a configuration, not a programming thing. So it's very easy to do it through pull down menus, etc. We know that this is a repair case, okay? We know this is a new billable project, and as you can see, we have a billable project already open, so we can select that one. And perhaps the customer is already giving you a purchase order number, that they know they're going to get charged for this. You're going to want to reference this purchase order number. Any equipment that you buy, you're going to reference the number. Any labor charges, that would also reference the number. It gives you the opportunity at the case level to put in some records. Perhaps this is a secure facility. There is some information you want to convey to Aaron out on the field. You say, ID required, and seek out Lionel when you arrive for access. So you can do this free form, whoever's inputting the information here. You can also, you have emails. You can also select a contact. We have a guy named Lionel Messi, plays a little bit of soccer on the weekends as the man kind of running the show there on site. We would then, the most important thing here is how do we get a task. So in a case creation, you may have several steps. There could be steps that you drive. Maybe you have to drop off a unit, so it could be a transportation step. There's a service step. There could be a training step. All those things, and you can do that from here. So you would choose the task type. We're going to do a service, right? We only have a few here, and the list can be fairly extensive and be very specific to your process flows. We're going to do a service call. We can assign people, so it gives us a list of all the people that you can possibly assign to a particular operation, which can be daunting. A lot of times people don't even assign anybody. They go through the scheduling process where they drag and drop to a particular person. And from an assignment perspective, maybe this job needs some specialized skills. We can select some skills, and we have several things. People with a commercial driver's license, we got an electrician here, we got engineers, then we got an HVAC, and then we got different levels. And this is, once again, customizable, and I'll show you where that is on the employee record later. So let's say we need an electrician to perform this job. Now, as you can see on the number of people assigned, it's been reduced to 47 now. So we have several people that can do this job, and I can pick anyone. And here's our hero, Aaron. We're saying, hey, this job needs to be done today. Obviously can't start at 9 in the morning. I'm in Eastern time. So let's say it starts at 14, which, 24-hour clock is great. 14 to 5 is the assumed. I can actually confirm this booking. Let's say that the customer absolutely needs them to be there at that time, and it'll put it into the calendar at that time when I show you that in a little while, and it won't allow you to move it. If you don't confirm the booking, then it gives you some flexibility of moving the job around. And then we simply add the task. And over here we have a service task assigned to Aaron. All the details we put in earlier, right, with a confirmed booking. We can add a message. Okay. Fix it because it's hot, right? And we can okay that, and we can add another task as well. We can add a training task. Maybe they're installing a unit and somebody has to come by later on and train, but we're not going to go to that level of detail. We'll keep it nice and simple for now, just in the interest of time. We save that task. And there you go. It's been saved. We got a confirmation. We know the task is locked and loaded. So from a customer service standpoint, we have put in a case and determined what tasks need to complete that case. The next step is scheduling. So within the system, you go into field service, you open up the scheduler. There we go. And it brings up the scheduler. Now let's walk through a couple of things here. There's a couple of sections in the schedule. There's the main part, which is a Gantt style chart of the jobs that need to be done. You'll notice there's several that have check marks next to them. That means they've been completed. There's a couple here that are scheduled. There's none that are behind. like if we could, oh, this one's a locked schedule, but if you were past due on a particular job, it would give you a bright red question mark that then you could react to it, reschedule it, etc. So that's the main part. Another interesting part is our calendar, which, you know, from a global perspective gives you the whole planet. We are of course interested in North America, and we can drill down to the black dots, which tell us who the people are in the area. And then we have the jobs as well. So in that area, and we can get a little closer. So we have Abby here. Let's see if we can get a little closer to this. And it'll zoom in to the people that are available in that area. In this particular area, there are no jobs. So how does that work? You go drill down to where a particular job is. You look at who's close by. It may allow you opportunistically to schedule somebody that's close by and doesn't have to travel as much. We have on the right side, we have our filters. So we have a list of assigned tasks. Let's see if we can look at that. So we have several assigned tasks, and if we click through them, they get highlighted on the calendar as well. And these are assigned, so they belong to somebody. We're looking at the South region. We would, of course, if we looked at the whole system, we would have a lot more jobs associated with it. Douglas and Murphy happen to be in the South, so that's why I've chosen that region. So we can definitely look at the South, and it reduces that. We also have people filters. So in our particular case, I filter this to the West and electricians because I know Aaron happens to be in the West. It's counterintuitive. You wouldn't necessarily send somebody from the West to the South, but it also allows you to narrow down based on skill set. So we need an electrician for this job. So from a scheduling perspective, you know, you're gonna cut and like divide and conquer. You're going to schedule a particular area, and we're talking about wide geographical areas. But if you're in a more like a city or the greater area of a city, you could divide that up based on where your technicians are located, where your depots are located. Those are all things that would be specific to the way you want to run things. So we know an electrician, so it's listed all my electricians. There are 47 results, just like we saw on the earlier case record when we were putting in the tasks. And I'm just going to make this easy for myself. I'm going to put the South so I can see or rather the West, so I can see Aaron more easily. There we go. So there we have all the jobs assigned. On the left side, you got all your technicians. If you right-click on the technician, you can see their skill level. So if something came up that you wanted to look for somebody specific, you could definitely look at that. It'll also tell you where Aaron is located. And let's see if we can do the same for Abby here. Abby's down here. Let's open her up. So Abby, so it narrows in on Abby. She's a little further south. So there she is. See, she pointed her out. So there's a lot of information on the left side, more information on the right side. Also, you can click on the items themselves. It'll give you the details, what the job was, you know, what the messages were assigned. This happens to be one that's already been completed. We can take a look at the field service report, which I'll show you in a little while. And then that allows you to set up your schedule. You can move things around. You can increase directly on the schedule. You can change the length of a job to perform a job. Let me get my thumbs to work here. None of these will work for me. Let's see if we can move a Douglas and Murphy unassigned task onto our calendar. So we have another unassigned task here. So this would be, you know, it's for a specific time, but it hasn't been assigned to anybody. So it's kind of locking you down on who you can assign it to. We can assign this to Aaron. Later on in the day, it says it's going to start at 2. And then you could change it. You could add multiple crew members to that if you wanted to manually, or you could do it on the case record. All those things are available. Another thing is you can change how this looks. You can look at your calendar based on priorities, you know, high, medium, and low, and you can see the colors: red, yellow, and green, or red, blue, and green. You got your statuses. based on not started, in progress, traveling, overdue. All those things can be looked at. You also have tasks. Easy enough to change these things over. You can change that color to orange, and it'll change the colors on the screen. And you got case type. Typically, you may be scheduling by priority, but you may be scheduling based on case type. Maybe you're scheduling all your drivers first, or something like that. So we have a priority there. And once you've moved things in, and I moved this appointment into Aaron's area, you'll notice that there's a little cloud here, and you don't lock down the calendar immediately, or the schedule immediately. So let's say you spent all your time and you're disappointed with what you did, you can cancel it all. Once you hit save, it locks and loads the schedule, and you're all set to go. This is a visual scheduler, so you can change the amount of days you look at once. Possibly if you're scheduling 1 day or 2 ahead, you look at 3 days, maybe you're scheduling a complete week. You can also change your calendar range, so you may not be scheduling for something as close to today as we're doing here right now. You may want to schedule a week ahead, so it'll look at that week ahead and allow you to schedule that. You can even go all the way up to 31 days. Whether that's useful or not would depend on your own case. So there we go. We've set up the schedule. Scheduling is done for today. Aaron's coming into work. He's going to want to know what he has to do today. So what we do is we open up Aaron's mobile, and he gets access to this information. In our particular case, we're looking at a full-size computer monitor. He is looking at the full map and everything else, which is convenient for our demo, but typically he would be on a phone. So what he would see is probably a list of the tasks that have been assigned to him, right? So we have a few tasks here that have been assigned to him, and he can click on the address, for instance, and then it'll refer to his map app on his phone. So he gets GPS travel instructions. We can click on here, and as you can see, as soon as I clicked on the task, it opened up a couple of details. One of them that it told you is this guy's Aaron lives in Toronto, and we're going to force him to go all the way to Georgia to perform his task. Another thing it tells you is everything associated with that job, the case number, the type of work he's supposed to do, and there's the note that we put in: bring identification card and contact Lionel upon arrival. It has the task number because there might be several tasks associated with the case, and the task type, service. And like I mentioned earlier, it could be many things. Then there is a clock function. So you can start the job and it'll start the clock. 2 levels for time tracking here. There is when you start the job, and you may start the job before you leave the location. So you may include travel time. You may or may not bill for that. That's different, but that is always tracked to the task record. So it can be referenced later, depending on what you're doing. Maybe that feeds payroll, and maybe the tasks only feed what you invoice the customer. And then he has the opportunity for time entry. And this would be customized based on what you want, as well as all these steps would be customized based on how your process works. And let's say, he's billing time for travel. And it'll give you it's 1:37 in my area here. It says 1:37. Maybe he was traveling since 1 o'clock, right? We can track that, and then we can end the current activity. Let's say he started up the task, and then he wants to end the activity. It automatically populates based on the clock function. It says it's 0.75 hour, and it says encountered too much traffic, had a flat tire. So that would be all put in here, and you'll notice a little check mark. We confirm that. Later on, we may want to add a new record. Okay, so maybe now we're going to add labor after we finish the job. Maybe we want to charge for specific labor. All those things are available, and then it'll show up on the billing and on the case record to drive the billing. It also gives you the asset details. When you click on that tab, it's an asset type of equipment, and you can classify your asset types. You can classify them more specifically, like heat pumps and condensing units, water pumps, anything. You can do that. Heat pump, air conditioner. It gives you the serial number. and that also gives you the subsidiary it's associated with. This can be changed, can have a lot more information on here. As you can see, there's plenty of room on the screen, less room on the iPhone, right? So it gives you the asset detail, and it also gives you who to contact. So that's all on your phone. You know you're contacting Lionel Messi. Here's his phone number. You can call him. First thing you do when you get on a job, in this particular case, based on our workflow, is we got to look at the environment we're working in. Perhaps it's a hot area. There's some manufacturing going on. You know, you may need specialized equipment like a face mask, right? Isolation required. Do we need to put up barricades or signs? Yes, we can do that. And after we've done that, what's the safety outcome? Is it still not a great place to work, even with the safety equipment and the separation, isolation of the job? You may choose fail. We'll just choose pass for simplicity. You know, environment secured, good to go. And then, you know, Aaron, since he's the guy there, you want to, if you want to make sure that safety is in good standing, and that's an important thing to track in your company, you can force him to sign it. And, you know, he would sign it on his handheld. It's just Aaron there. He signs it off. He checks it off. And you'll notice that the job safety has a little red star. The job safety tab has a little red star on there. That means that he cannot complete this job until he signs off on it. Click on that, and there you go. Next thing you do, you go over to the job, the location, and you record what you've done. So outcome here, perhaps we've completed the job, okay? Repaired unit, all is up and running. And this is really, you know, a record of what was done, so that later on it can be referred to. You have the ability to put photos in here. Let me see if I find one here. Now, of course, you would take the photo with your camera. Over here, I obviously have to find it in. So it didn't look too great when he got there. Okay. Now he's taking another photo, and we can look at the photo of the finished job. See what our fixed unit looks like. Okay, good. And we have a photo of what the unit looks like. Great record. You've noted that it's been complete. You've made your notes. You've taken your pictures. You lock and load that. It's important to realize that this is real time. So what we're doing in the case here, they can see back at the office as a process. One of the key things, and I was just dealing with a customer that's in northern Canada and northern Alberta, servicing several depots, truck depots, and transportation depots, and they say a lot of times they get off the internet. They don't have it. One of the great things about FSM, NetSuite Field Service, is that it is able to work offline. So as soon as the schedule is loaded and the system downloads the tasks, he has access to everything associated with those tasks. He can record all these things offline, and then when he gets the internet back, it would real time or would update to the main system. So okay, so we've done our repair record. We could have said, hey, we had to buy some items, so it can add to the sales order. That would, depending on how you configure it, could bill the customer. I'm running out of time. I'm going to go very quickly through here. So let's just say, hey, he needed to put on a dust mask. It gives you the location. Typically, the location would be, for instance, his truck. So if you're maintaining inventory on his truck, it would deplete it from this truck. In this particular case, it's pointing to the San Francisco warehouse, which doesn't make a lot of logical sense, but still there. It tells you where it is in the bin, so you can find it. And then you would do that, and you enter one item, and then you can enter as many items as you'd like, and then it would show up on the system, right? Like we can add, I don't know, solar inverters. That's something you always need. Tells you where they are. There's 3 left, etc. So that would be kept tracked on the record. You know, if this unit, as you can see, there's been several services to this unit already. There's a bunch of cases. You can look at the past repairs. You can get access to these cases. So that's important. You can also add expenses, right? So if we decided that you know, there's an expense to be added. Perhaps, you know, he had a snack. He went to the donut shop, got a coffee, or maybe he took Lionel to the coffee shop. And this is integrated with the NetSuite expense module and the employee record, and of course the accounts payable side that would ultimately give him the reimbursement. So he went to and he bought Lionel a donut, cost him $10, a donut, and took Lionel for a snack. Okay, and then he could attach it. Once again, he would do this off his phone. Let's see if I have an image here. Lunch receipt. It would take a picture of it, and then it's easy to process on the other side. And you can add several units if you had multiple line items. You could do that. Other things you can do, so we can attach files. You know, whether they're photographic or something else that we have on, like an instruction manual or anything, we could definitely do that. You can assign new tasks. So perhaps things didn't go well, or hey, they don't know how to use the unit. Let's schedule some training. New tech on site need to train on unit. He can add one there, which may go through an approval process. Abby Kwan is our trainer. We can, of course, lock down a time, or we can confirm a booking. We can definitely do that. We can confirm it, I don't know, for Monday or something. In the meantime, they'll just have to bear with the heat. And, you know, it's going to take us all morning to train this person. So up to noon, and there you go. You check it off, it saves it, and you're basically done. Your job status, now you've finally done all these things. You've accumulated everything into the system. You're ready to complete the job. And you have a choice here, and you can have workflows in the back, additional parts and labor required, which then would allow you to create a task to come back, couldn't get access. All these things are documented, so you have to reschedule. But let's assume the job is complete. And you're going to notice, as soon as I check this box, this tab here for job completion and signature is going to light up. There you go. So now we have the job is complete. It doesn't allow me to seek signatures or anything from my my contact until I do this. On-site supervisor's name, Lionel Betsy, and he would sign off on the job being complete. And this is, well, he's an L, right? I'm getting better at this every day. Lionel. All right. So we've captured a signature. What does that give us? That says, hey, I've told the guy I completed the job. He signed off on it. There's not going to be any accounts receivable issues when I send him the bill, right? You put the technician, only one available, the one working on the job, and we sign Aaron's name again. There we go. And we check the box. And the job is almost done now. You saw how and this can be as complicated or as simple as you want. I mean, you could have a one-step, track the time, and off you go, and still track it. So this is a more complex kind of demo, but you can get even a lot more complex than this, where we refer to checklists, what-if statements, all those things can be done. You complete the job. It now says the job is completed, right? And then we can go back. Aaron is completed the job. Now he goes back to his phone and he sees, I've completed a lot of stuff today. I got a couple of other things. There's this job that I'm supposed to be doing at 2 o'clock. Well, that's in 10 minutes. Is that close enough? Yeah, I'm going to go there and I start a new job. In the meantime, you know, Aaron's off to his next job. In the meantime, we want to take a look at what's happened. So let me refresh my calendar here. As you can see, the job that Aaron has worked on is checked off as complete. You then go into it and you have all the details that we saw earlier. We can now print out a service report. And this is generated real time off the unit. You can email it to Lionel. You can print out a copy. All the details are associated with it. So you have your header level information that relates to what was put in the system. Okay. It's tracked your labor, 0.75 hours to get there. And you know what the service time, all those details that we put in are all in here. That we created a new task. It has a photo, before and after photo, so the customer has a record of that, and it's got our signature captures. So we're all set and ready to go. Just hand it over to the customer, and the job is complete. You walk away, then everything comes back to the office. So that is kind of walking through our cycle. So what happens next is you got to bill for it. So you bill at the case level. Okay, so we have our, and I'm just going to show you based on here, but we have our case record here. And there's a couple of ways you can bill for a record. You can go directly through the case record, and you can select generate invoice, or back where we were looking at, we have reminders. So we can click on the reminder and do it at a batch level. So you wouldn't be doing one case at a time, you know, depending on how many jobs are performed in one particular day, you would look at that to handle it.